Alright, what is up guys, JaretCampisi, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do a final video on our custom Xdiavel, walk around it, talk about all the parts, talk about the cost of the build, and let you guys know where you can get these parts if you're interested in building one for yourself. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, so if you're not familiar with my channel, one of the things I do on it is I do these custom builds. They're community funded and we actually give them away when we're done. If you're interested in getting involved, we're going to be constantly building custom bikes, giving them away when we're done. There's a website called Patreon. That's how we fund everything. That's how everybody gets input into what we do and all that kind of stuff. It's always the first link in the description below, so make sure you check that out if you're interested. Let's get started here. So basically what this is it's a 2019 Ducati Xdiavel. I bought it in stock form and I wanted to talk a little bit about the cost of the build for you guys. So I think I ended up paying around $26,000 for the bike. I'm just going to round all the numbers off because it would just take forever otherwise. Build wise, we got all of our parts through Manny at Moto Million. They sponsor the series, they do all of our build series. We got all of our parts through them. I think I retailed for the cost of all of the parts that I did for this bike came out to right around $20,000. And then I factored in about $4,000 for all of the labor and everything like that. So that brings the total cost of the build to around $50,000, which is kind of what I estimated when we looked into this. And it's pretty ridiculous if you think about it, but I mean, you maybe could do it for cheaper if you could figure out things. I have to do things a certain way because of the build series, so sometimes we're taking parts off, back off, putting them back on again, so the hours of labor really gets a little bit longer than it should be. But yeah, so this was a 2019 Xdiavel. Some of the highlights of the build include this brushed steel tank. Trevor sourced this out to his guy in Oxnard. His name's Bill Key. He went ahead and did this for me. The idea behind the build is I wanted to do like an R version of the Xdiavel. So if you're not familiar with Ducatis, they do R versions of their motorcycles, which is like the race versions of the bikes. So they have a Panigale R, they had an 1199, they didn't have a 1299, but they had a 1098R, a 999R, they have the new Panigale B4R. And on their bikes, they always do some sort of brushed steel or brushed aluminum tank. And so that's kind of where the idea came from. And then we did the old school Ducati lettering. They actually painted that, Bill painted that right on there for me. And then I added my Campisi Customs decal. Unlike normal brushed steel tanks, when they actually shave it all the way down so it's like completely fine, I wanted there to be brush strokes in it. So I had Bill use like a sander, a grinder, and he actually put those strokes in it so it looks hand done, because it is hand done, and then we just clear coated over it, and that's how we ended up with this tank. This seat is actually a seat cover from Louis Moto. They're a Canadian company, so I think this is the only thing on the bike we didn't get through Moto Million. But I designed this alongside with them, and I did that diamond stitching with the silver because I wanted it to match the tank when we were done, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. And then one of my favorite parts of the build, aside from the tank, is these BST Rapidtech deep dish carbon wheels. And again, we got those through Manny at Moto Million. I went with a satin finish so that it's just a tiny bit of gloss, but not super gloss, and it's not matte, just because I think it looks really good because of one of the other things we did. Oh, and actually this mod on its own saved 30 pounds off the build. And they just completely transformed the riding of this bike. It handles so much better than it should. It's absolutely ridiculous. I guess I'll just let you guys know the highlights of the build, or the total weight and horsepower of the build. So in stock form, it was 545 pounds, and it did 140 horsepower on the dyno. In this form now, we got dogs running up to us. Hi.
Hi guys. Hi. Hi.
What do you guys think of the build?
Hi.
All right, the dogs are gone, so we can get back to work here. No, what I was saying is in stock form, the bike weighed 545 pounds and it made 140 horsepower on the dyno. Now, as it sits, it weighed 485 pounds, so we stripped 58 pounds off the bike, and it did 148 horsepower on the dyno, which I think makes this pretty much the lightest and fastest street legal Xdiavel in the world, and probably one of the lightest, fastest cruisers in the world as well. And I'm really happy about that. So The other reason I wanted to do this walk around is because people kept asking us for parts lists, and we decided, Manny and I, that the easiest way to do it was to just put a whole separate section on his website for the Custom Xdiavel build. So there will be a link in the description below. If you click on that link, it'll take you right to where you can buy every single one of these parts. If there's something on there that you don't see that you think that we had on this bike, just shoot Manny an email or give him a call. But if you use code Campisi, you can get anything we put on this bike from Moto Million, and it'll save you some money on anything you order as well. So let's keep going. I probably won't get to every part that we did, but I'll just show you some of my favorite parts. So I mentioned the wheels, those were one of my favorites. Obviously the tank is custom, we didn't do that for Manny. And then this seat came from Louis Moto. Another one of my favorite parts of any Ducati build is the clear clutch cover. This is from Dukkha bike. A lot of the parts we put on this bike is from Dukkha bike. So this is 3 different parts. So it's the whole part you see here, the black part that outlines this whole area. It actually goes all the way down and around. And then this is called the pressure plate, which is the black piece right there, the outside with the silver, and then the spring retainer is that part right there. So it's 3 different parts that makes the whole clutch assembly so that you can see it when it's spinning when we turn it on, and I'll turn it on for you guys in a minute. Also, obviously we did the full Terminioni exhaust system. Actually, it's just a slip-on, but no company makes a full exhaust for this bike. So this one actually does get rid of the catalytic converter. We got that through Manny at Moto Million. And it also comes with an up map that flashes your ECU, which helps give it the right fueling and stuff like that whenever you change all that kind of stuff. Another highlight of the build, one of the few things we didn't get from Manny, is the Hlins rear shock. This comes with a Sachs rear spring, and unfortunately it was just a little bit too jarring for me. And teams, if you come around this side, you can see, so we bought a Hlins spring. We got that through Santa Barbara Ducati. They obviously did all of the work for us on the bike. So that's an Hlins spring, and you can order it in black, which is really freaking cool, and that really helped a lot with the rideability of the bike. Hello. Thank you.
Another dog approves.
And so if you have an Xdiavel and you're interested in improving the rideability and the suspension, definitely check out the Hlins rear spring. It helps a ton. And then another thing we did is this Dukkha bike front sprocket cover, which is clear, and it actually has that in there as well that spins, so you can see the front sprocket spinning as you ride, which is really cool. We did a Dukkha bike forward controls. It actually comes with forward controls, but we just replaced the footrest and the shifter along with a brake on the other side as well. And then the carbon we got all through Moto Million, Manny at Moto Million. It's Illenberger carbon. They do the Ducati performance carbon, and so we did the carbon side blades, we did the carbon belly panels, we also did the front and rear carbon fenders, and we did the carbon headlight shroud cover up here as well. I didn't want to do too much carbon. You can actually put other pieces of carbon on here. Like I thought about doing the carbon swing arm cover, but since I knew I was going to do that brushed steel tank, I thought that the steel swing arm kind of like tied that into the bike, so I wanted to leave that there. But Illenberger makes some really awesome carbon. We went with the matte finish on these, and it just looks so freaking good. I like matte finish because you can still see the lines of the bike. Whenever you do the glossy carbon, sometimes you get all the reflections off everything, and it really doesn't allow you to see the lines of the bike. And Ducati puts a lot of work into how their bikes look, so I want to make sure you can see those beautiful lines. Coming around to the front here, we went ahead, we tried to do custom drag bars. Unfortunately, it just didn't work. So instead, we got some cool parts to make this look tricked out. We did this top yoke cover here from Dukkha bike, and we also did this cover here. That's also from Dukkha bike. It looks really, really nice. We did these reservoir covers from Dukkha bike with the brushed steel look on the top, which really matched the build nicely. Then we also did the Domino Grips, and we got those from Manny at Moto Million. All of this stuff from Manny at Moto Million, and I really like these a lot. They're not quite as stiff as the racing compound grips, but they still feel really good. And we also did the Ducati spacer kit in there to get rid of all the throttle play. So as you can see, there's no play at all, which is really nice. I like that a lot. The gas cap, we did the TWM gas cap from Manny at Moto Million. It's carbon, and then it's quick release, which is really nice because all you do is just press it down, pops right up, boom. Very, very easy to do, and it actually gives you a lot more room when you're filling up your gas tank over the stock one, and it even saves some weight as well. And then let's see what else we got here. Oh, so the carbon cam covers was a pretty important modification because these actually saved about 4.5 to 5 pounds over the steel ones that it comes with. And it's cool because you can still get the brushed aluminum look on there. with those as well, which is super cool. Some parts that you don't see on the bike are the the Speed Cell lithium ion battery in there. That's from Manny and Moto Million. That actually saved like, I think 7 or 8 pounds off the bike, off the stock battery, which is freaking ridiculous. We also have a Sprint high flow filter in there that goes with the exhaust. And oh yeah, so general upgrades, we got rid of the turn signals up here, and we did the snap-on turn signals from NRC. Actually, I'll just turn the bike on so you can see what it looks like, because they're really cool. They're super bright, and they just look really awesome whenever they're on. And this is a daytime running light that the Xdiavel S comes with as well. And you can see the other side too. And then while I have that on, I'll just show you, if you come around to the back, teams. So we did the NRC turn signals in the rear as well. So you can see those, super bright, really easy to see. They look really nice. So normally the turn signals and the license plate, they have a thing on here from Ducati that sits here, which looks fine, but I like being able to see that big 240 millimeter back tire. So I actually had Trevor build us a custom bracket up here so that we didn't have to put it off on the side, which is where the NRC kit puts it. But if you didn't have somebody to do that, then I would just recommend getting that NRC kit over here, because it's like the second best thing that you can do. So a couple things I forgot to mention. A really important one is the Radiator Guards. So those are blacked out Radiator Guards. Again, I got through Manny at Moto Million.
Make a huge difference.
Yeah, not only do they look really nice, but they protect your radiator, which is what cools your motor. So that's pretty important. Then I also got this front fork protection, which are super nice. And then the brake cooling ducts in carbon, which come in gloss, but we just sanded them down to make them match the rest of the matte carbon. So badass. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, we put a little bit of small things here and there, but that's pretty much the entire build list. I'm sure I forgot some stuff here and there, but yeah, roughly around $50,000 if you wanted to duplicate something like this. But you can always, just do the big mods that save a lot of weight and look really good, and spend maybe like half that. So yeah, really happy with how this build turned out. Huge shout out to Trevor at Ducati of Santa Barbara for helping us out. Obviously, a huge shout out to Manny from Moto Million. We couldn't have done this build without him. If you're interested in anything, doing custom builds, getting parts, hit him up. He'll take care of you. And always mention that you heard about him from my videos, because that helps me as well. And then I guess we'll just give you a startup for the end of this. What do you think, teams?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. The whole bike's keyless too, which is really awesome. This dog's gonna freak out when he hears this. I don't want to piss everybody off, but yeah, there you go, guys. So I think that is about it, guys. Once again, thank you to Manny and Trevor at Santa Barbara Ducati. If you're interested in getting any of the parts, check out the links in the description below. If you want to be a part of this build or future builds, check out the Patreon page. I'll be announcing my next build very, very soon. And then if you want to be a part of the giveaway for this bike, we're going to be at Santa Barbara Ducati July 3rd from 5 to 7. You can come see the bike in person. You can hang out with me and Christina and Trevor and Carlin and everybody from the Ducati shop. And watch us choose the names live and everything like that, and you'll actually get to see the next bike that we're doing, because it's already there. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody who watches my videos and sharing and comments and liking, it makes all of this possible. It wouldn't be possible without you guys, so I really, really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.